All right. So this is what I still don't understand about the civilization and your level of what you consider democracy in this country, in this state, or whatever, in this whole freaking world, man. And I'm not putting down democracy. I guarantee you. I mean, if the majority really ruled, then it would be okay. But the majority does not rule them. A small minority rules, and that's it, man. It's the same class-caste structure as kings and queens and the dukes and all that other bullshit. It's all the way down to the peasants, and the peasants, the ones that do all the work, man, and the peasants are the ones that end up being slaves, So, but it's just ironic that if you think about it, if poverty is the majority. And the other majority. I mean, if you look at, I put some numbers in New Jersey, and I didn't do it across the country, but I'm sure the across the country is similar. You have a small, 1 to 3% that's considered wealth class, and then, they put different class structures in the thing. Like they said, upper and lower class, so upper whatever, man. There's three classes, only three classes: wealth, middle class, and poverty. Wealth consists of 1 to 3% population. Middle class, I think they put it down to 23% or something. And the rest is poverty. The number said 36%. I'm not sure how. I remember how I have to look at the paperwork, but it's real easy. Wealth class, middle class, and then poverty, right? And no matter what, don't fool yourselves, right? Even if you're middle class, anything that's not wealth is poverty. That's it. It's just like saying the house slave really isn't a slave anymore because they're in the house and and they get treated better. It's like, no, they're still slaves. Get it? And the slave master, middle world class, middle class is the house slaves, and poverty is the field slaves. And that goes to show you that wasn't poverty all get together, right? Take a vote, right? Take a vote. Say, okay, who wants to abolish poverty in the class system as a whole of modern day slavery? The class-caste system, the wealth class-caste system among everybody wants to eliminate it. Take a vote. Raise your hands. I'm sure every poor person would raise their hand. I'm sure every middle class just about would raise their hand saying, you know what, hey, we don't have to work crazy hours anymore and be stressed out just to make this fucking money. We mean everything is free and we only have to work 4 hours. We get the robots involved. Who gives a shit if we lose our jobs? There is no losing our jobs because everything is free. As a human being, you're guaranteed a life from birth to death, a free existence from birth to death. Taking care of each other, taking care of the planet, taking care of that child from birth to death, making sure that it understands what it is. It works out its karma and its soul ascends properly. That's a simple thing, man. All get together and vote on that, and then you just basically abolish money, abolish poverty, and you say, hey, let's all work together to create the one best product we share equally for free. The best one, the one the world class guys. We all work to that. Why are you gonna make all this stuff, all this garbage? All this garbage for poverty that you can throw away. That you have to throw away the next day, creating garbage, unnecessary garbage on this planet. It has to be burnt or whatever else they're fucking doing with this garbage on this planet. It doesn't need it. I'm telling you, it's like ticks on your body. A whole bunch of ticks on your body start shitting all over your body. It's not just you have the ticks, right on your body, but then you have the shit of the ticks all scattered all through your body. Doesn't that suck? And that's exactly what this is. When you create all these products for the poor, the middle class, and the rich. Why don't you all get together and create the one product, the one that for the rich is getting, and give it to everybody for free? That's fair. That's equal. That's taking care of each other. That's not profiting from each other, and that's competing with each other, not acting like a. I mean, the animals even understand. Like, I'm not going to compete with that thing because I'm not going to compete within my own species. Maybe for dominance of the but that's an animal, man. You're supposed to have better brains, right? Except the animals use more of their brains than you. They use more of their brains than you do. Because if not, you would abolish this whole slavery system. Cloaked as a slavery system, cloaked in a democratic, corporate controlled, capitalist hell. that we all are suffering through and have to deal with, right? So again, I want to repeat. Why doesn't the poverty class, which is the majority of human beings on this planet? Now, the one I'm gonna add to the video. That's just New Jersey. You know, I was gonna do one countrywide, but it's gonna be basically the same. But I'm talking the entire world. If I did one entire world, I guarantee you that level of poverty would even grow even bigger than what it is. And I'll probably do that one next and add it too, because no matter what, the majority of people on this planet are poor. That's because the wealth class needs that poverty. And there would be no wealth if there was no poverty. So the wealth needs poverty to become poverty, right? To become wealthy. Wealth needs, if not, there would be no, if there was no poverty, poverty represents stuff that's taken from them to create by a small group of people that's made them more powerful and more important. So that wealth, right? That wealth, right? If there was no poverty, there'd be no wealth. So the solution to poverty, of course, if you remove wealth, because wealth creates poverty. Poverty does not need wealth. Poverty needs equality and freedom, which they don't have. Right? Poverty needs equality and freedom, which they don't have. They don't have. What they have is being put into a class system. You're born into a third class. Why did I get born into this, man? Why can't I be born into the first class, man? I don't know. Why don't you guys work harder? Why don't you just abolish the whole thing and we were equal? That's how everything else in the universe works. Everything else in the universe is free. And in your eyes, it might not be equal, but it is equal. Because I guarantee you, the sun is just as important as the moon, which is as important as this planet. It's just as important as the tree. It's just as important as everything else. Everything is equally important and priceless. Except for human beings that put a price tag on them and cut up the tree and sell it as an oak wood floor for somebody's fucking, apartment or something. You're taking something, a God like that tree that's giving us life, and you haven't figured out what to do instead of wood.